welcome back to the channel. Just before we begin, I'd like to say thank you to the new patrons we've had this month. All the help is muchly welcomed, and any support is greatly appreciated. For those that are joining us for the first time and don't know about us, I'm currently stood inside our 1998 Dennis Dart, which we are restoring to its former glory. Although if you could see what I could see behind the camera, you wouldn't think so. But this is our story's preservation. This is raw as it is, and real emotions. For those that have already joined us before, and if you haven't, then why aren't you subscribed? You know, follow us for more. As always, we're here to try and show you what goes on behind the scenes and how hard it is actually to be a preservationist and preserve a bus. Without you, the support with Patreon and YouTube join and you watching the videos, none of this could really be possible. So today's job, I've got a fuel gauge to fit. Well, say fit, see if it works. New fuel gauge, should be 70 quid. We got one cheap off eBay to see whether the sender works for about 20 quid. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't show the exact level, at least it'll tell us when it's empty or getting close to empty, which is the main of the thing that we want to see. Other jobs that we have today is Sean has been prepped the bus ready for paint on the outside. So in this box down here we have some red paint, some green paint, cream has already been done, and there's white paint at the back. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Let's start off with getting the fuel gauge fixed. Right guys, so this is what we've got. It's just a generic how are you doing fuel gauge. Works up to 32 volts, which is good. We need to connect the red orange to positive, the blue for some reason to the negative, and the black to the sender, which comes from the tank at the back. So let's have a butcher's in here and see what we can do with that. Take it out. Wiggle this out. So that is the current fuel gauge, which doesn't seem to work. But we're about to find that out. So here, these three wires that we have here, zoom in a bit. These three wires we have here are power. I believe them two are power. That one is the sender. I know that for sure. That is the sender. We are going to end up having the light on all the time on this, I think. I could connect it off to that one. Positive of that if I wanted to, I suppose. But we'll have to see. So first of all, let's get this bracket off it, which holds it in place, and see if it actually fits in the hole. Because we didn't measure it, we didn't intend on putting it in the hole really, but if it will go in the hole and fit, then we'll have it in the hole. Oh yes, look at that, that is perfect. So might as well put it in then. Up. Might not sit the best because it is designed for a different type of dashboard, but as long as it sits flat up top, we're not that bothered. And if it works, bigger bonus. Right, so then we have this sort of link wire thing, because that's got little ports on the back of it. So we'll take this off. So we had, plug it in. Right, so we have red and orange need to go together. Already pre-cut, perfect. That blue needs to go to the negative, and black needs to go to the answer to the whole connector thing was no, so I'm going to use some little terminal box and just do it that way. It will do for now, it will work. It'll definitely work for testing anyway. And if it does work, we can look at putting proper terminal blocks on it at a later date. In fact, I'll tell you what, I've got an idea. I have these as well, which are technically a bit worse, but again, they'll still do the job. And they'll save me having to take the ends off the wires. But first of all, we need to just double check which end is positive and which end is negative. A really trusty broken bloody meter. A really trusty and broken voltmeter, which has seen the scars of war. So I believe that should be positive, so it should show a negative voltage this in a minute. Where's the other wire gone? No, the other wire's fallen off already. Yeah, so that's positive, that's negative. So, on the basis that that has already fallen off, and I don't know where the end to that has gone, I might as well just bloody cut the bloody things off. So, positive. I could probably shove that in there anyway. Negative. Right. Sender. Need to strip that one. Ow. Ow. Stripped. Gravity. Stripped. Right, so does that fit in there? It's just too big. I have to cut that as well. At that point then we might as well go for a full house and have 4 blocks instead of that, and put the light on it separately. Because it would just make more sense. pins down and I don't know where I put them. Oh, they're there on the chair anyway. Duh. Right, so we want 4 now. There we go. So let's get them into here. So we want positive, negative, sender, backlight. I've now separated them and now need to know what they were. Took a photo of before I left the house. That's useful, it doesn't tell me which one's which. Orange is backlight. Go away. Orange is backlight, which is that one. Black is the sender. Which is that one. Which we don't know if it works, but we hope it does. Get half in a minute. Red is the positive, which is that one there. Blue, for some reason, is the negative. Go in there. So that gauge is now wired up. Let's put it in and see if we have anything. It works, but it's definitely the wrong ohms. So, this fuel gauge works better than the other fuel gauge at least. Because the other one didn't do anything, but if I turn this one on. it shows a full tank. There's not a full tank in there, but we know the sender is actually sending information back to the bus then, so that's a good start, and we do have a light on it, so yeah, see how that goes. In. So let's get this masking tape off, see what we've got. Needs another coat, but I've also run out of masking tape, so maybe a little more I can do now. Any pictures. Certainly when it first went on for the colour match, but he has no idea I've done the green or the front or anything like that. So hopefully tonight about 6:30 I'll meet back up with him here and we can catch his reaction. Green's still very wet in the section. C-D-E-R-Q and your friend and your sister and your job and your wife, your star and your body puts your guy fucked off. Ultimate peel here. We need a new glove. Glove is part of it. Oh no, got the glove out. Just driving up on nice. And then the bottom one. The paint should have got tacky enough that you shouldn't go. Might need redoing or touching up. Need to get that bit off. you can all fuck off. A little bit to get off down here. It's got a stripe again! That's 20 make horsepower there. I'm as into you. This is the latest bit of painting I'm a bit worried about taking the masking off here. But it should be fine. Now it's never going to be perfect, it's hand painted for fuck's sake. Hand painted by an idiot. But I try my best. Get off the red paint! As well, overall, I'm pretty impressed. Just get this green stripe all the way down the side. Needs touching up, it's not 100% straight. But just got this green stripe at the front. Just needs its white on the front now, and the 6 million badges it had. Well impressed. I think that's lunchtime. So guys, we've about half a day it's taken me. The red is done. It will need a new coat here and there, but it's done. It actually has red all the way around the bottom now, how it's supposed to. The other thing that is appeared today, which wasn't planned, the green stripe has appeared. Got that again, that was all the way around. The cream was already done. All it is left to do now to actually finish this painting job off is to do the white and the stripes at the top. But they're a little bit more tricky than what could meet the eye, them ones. But I'll be definitely giving it a go when I've got a step ladder at least, so I'm able to reach up there properly rather than do how we painted it white originally, which was hang off the roof and do it that way. The other thing is I'll do the white today, but my paint tray's got red in it, so I can't do that until I've cleaned that really and let that dry out. With that, as you can see, the front's back together. We are looking for all the badges for the front. When this was new, it had all its badges. It's Dennis, it's Super, FLL, Super Dart, Pointer Dart. It had all of them on the front. We'll be putting all the stuff back up at the top, and once it's in its base form, then we'll be looking at putting it in the 464 livery, which had all the writing down the side. but obviously we need to get it into its base form first before we do that. So I'll quickly walk around with you now and show you what's happened, and then about 6 o'clock we're going to be surprising Sean. He thinks I'm coming to pick him up in the car. His idea was to bring the bus originally, but then went, oh no, don't bother, because the front desk of the blind's not in properly. But that ain't going anywhere. I've tried to move it, it ain't going anywhere. So we're going to leave the car here and we're going to go and surprise him in this. So he honestly hasn't seen any pictures today of it. The only pictures he's seen was one confirming the red that we got that was close to the red that was already on the bus. That's the only picture he's seen. Other than that, I've not taken any pictures or put them anywhere yet. This is as hot as off the press as you're seeing it now. Is what Sean has seen of it, and the rest of the group, they have no idea how much has actually been achieved today. The people that were meant to come and help me didn't turn up, so the inside still looks like a bomb's gone off in it, but I'm going to try and sort that out now before we go and pick Sean up in it. And I've got a few toolbox drawers and that to tie down, otherwise they're going to come flying open. But other than that, let's have a quick wander around. So obviously now we've got the front now full with number plate and light bits. There's a few blemishes like here, but they'll be tidied up on the second coating round. As you've got here, now this was already red, the original red one. I painted it and you couldn't tell the bleeding difference. Move down, I know the light's quite poor down here. Down, you got all this here, green stripe, and all that on this side. So that's, yep, a bit miffed. This was painted, and Sean sanded it. I'm sure Sean has sanded that. It was painted. All this at back here needed to wipe down, all the cream. The cream has already been painted. It just needs wiping down. Obviously I've got a few blemishes of green to get off this, but I'm going to do that in a minute with the tapes and a wet brush or flannel of some description. This corner's the same. These red panels were a nightmare, even though Sean had keyed them. These red corner panels, absolute nightmare. This is not the best. This is the bit that I'm really not happy with. But we've got a bit of cream to touch that up, and you know the white still needs doing again anyway, so it's not a big deal. Although I don't think this part of white, I think this side's white is okay. I think it's the other side's white that majorly needs doing. But again, this has all been done. Again, bits here where the cream hasn't met the green, but we can do that by brush with a little brush. This wheel trim, before people point it out, don't worry about it, it's coming off. We're running without them, which is why the other three don't have them. That was an experimental piece which is now on there very well. We may get new bits to go on all of them, but it won't be that one that's on there at the moment. That one that's on there at the moment is a very poor fit. So the other things I've done is cabs back together, all that's been put back down, and I've just got to do in there. So I'll set to work in there and I'll get back to you.
You can now find us on Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Twitter and Instagram. Hashtag Mancbuses. Find us at mancbuses.com. Mancbuses, we're sorting scrap.